You wouldn't build a house without a foundation, so don't build your business without one. This is Mindset Monday, where we lay out the tools, frameworks, and mindset you need to scale your contracting or trading business today. All right. Welcome back to Mindset Monday, coming to you live and direct from my office. Yeah, it hasn't changed. We are here again in conjunction with Contractor Plus, our good buddies over there, Justin Smith and the team. If you're not using Contractor Plus, why not? You guys know the drill. If you're here with us live, go ahead and drop your name and your business name, and we'll give you a good old shout out. It is kind of frustrating and funny and all things, everything in between with the office. For those of you that have an office, you can feel my pain. There's things you can control and there's things you can't. If I owned this building, I would run it a whole lot different than it's being run right now. It's currently 76 degrees in my office and climbing. Go figure. But hey, here we are, right? We've got good old reliable here. That's what I'm going to start calling Daniel. Daniel with No Go Custom Glass and Mirror, checking in from the mobile office, hopping off at 2:40. Happy Monday. Good to see you, my friend. Glad you're here. Again, if you're with us live, go ahead and drop your name and your business name, and we'll give you the good old shout out. We've got Modern Electrical Services. How's it going? Happy Monday to you too, my friend. We've got Rachel with NSP Construction in Inwood, West Virginia. Welcome to the show. All right. Well, I want to get into this thing because there's actually quite a few things I want to share with you guys today. Now, if you would have known me, let's call it 10 years ago, you would have been like, that guy, data, numbers? Yeah, I don't know who you're talking about. Not the same guy. But I can tell you that I've started to fall in love with data. Actually, it's been a minute, but I really love data. Why? Because it drives all of the decisions that I make. And it should drive all the decisions you make as well. We've got Joe from Open Kitchen Concepts. Welcome to the show, Joe, excuse me. We've got Motivated Laborers, Motivated Monday. Yes, absolutely. We got J.S. Nieves from the San Francisco Bay Area. It's funny. My son told me this weekend that he wants to move to San Francisco. I told him it was crazy, but hey, kids, right? We got Rachel with NSP. Oh, I already talked to Rachel. Cool. Again, if you're with us live, go ahead and drop your name and your business name, and we'll give you the good old shout out. Now, why the numbers? You hear me talk about numbers all the time because I can tell you that there's a way to run your business and there's a way not to run your business. Feelings, emotions, right? They're not the way to run a business, because some days you're going to wake up, you're going to be like super excited to be like, yes, I want to work today. I'm going to land that big job or whatever the thing is. And sometimes you're going to wake up and be like, I don't want to do this. I legit don't want to do this. I'm going to fire everybody on my team. I'm just going to close up shop and I'm going to go find a hut by a lake and just fish all day. Like, I know it. I know what you guys are going through, because hell, there's days that I feel the exact same way. We got Nancy with Hummingbird Handyman in Denver. Welcome to the show. We got Robert with Ram Roofing out of Pennsylvania. Welcome. And then we got Monkey Wrench Plumbing. Welcome, Chris. So there's days that I don't want to be here either. There's days that I don't want to. Literally this morning, it's Monday morning, okay, for our contracting, our commercial contracting company. We were on one job site at 7 a.m. We were going over a wall that had to be built that still hadn't been built because our framer, well, he ghosted us. And then I got a call from a project manager on another paint project that we're doing downtown that he has somebody coming in tomorrow, and therefore we need to be done today, which isn't going to happen, but we had to do that. And then we had another job that we were supposed to start on Wednesday, but the materials haven't arrived yet. Like, this is all Monday morning stuff. And you know exactly what I'm talking about because you're a business owner, right? But again, the data, feelings and emotions, push them to the side, the data. Now, there is different data that I want to share with you guys today. Some of you guys are part of Service Titan, which is great. They do have some particular things. Again, we're big fans of Contractor Plus, obviously, for what they do. But I look at data, and they put out some information that was actually, I think, really relevant to all contractors and trade business owners. Okay. So I want to share with you guys what some of that information is. Okay. I will tell you that they surveyed over 1,000 contractors. Okay. And got some of this information. And this is something, again, that you guys can apply to your business and ultimately help you generate more dollars. Okay. Now, there's a way that people used to run their business, and there's a way that people are starting to run their business. If you work in home services, like you deal with homeowners directly, this is going to be more applicable to you. If you deal with commercial or government work, it's not that this isn't going to be applicable. It's just that how you're going to apply it is going to be slightly different. Okay. So let's get into it. The old way of running a business was generate the next job. Finish the job you're doing right now so that you can move to the next job. Like that was the old way of running the business. Okay. You got to ask yourself right now, is that still the way you're running your business? I can't wait to get out of Mrs. Jones's house so I can go deal with Mr. Smith, right? Is that the way you're running your business? Or are you leveraging what matters right now in the marketplace? And I've seen this over and over and over again, which is relationship first. Think about it this way. If I was to ask you, what is a typical client worth to you? You're going to tell me, hey, let me calculate what my average job is worth. $2,000, $10,000, $22,000. And that's what a customer is worth to me. But I want to challenge you on that to think this way. A customer is worth what we call LTV, or lifetime value. Not a one and done, but what's a customer worth over a lifetime? In other words, if you go to somebody's house and you replace a water heater, that's great. But what's the typical life cycle of a water heater? I don't know. They say 8 to 10 years, but we all know they don't ever really last 8 to 10 years, which means at some point, odds are you're going to be back there for the same problem. Okay. But that's not all. If you're a plumber and you're servicing water heaters, what else could go wrong in a house? A sink, a drain, a sewer, like we can go on down the line, which means that if you're only there to replace the water heater and then you leave and you never contact that client ever again, what have you lost out on? I'm going to venture it's thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars per client. And if your customer list right now, your client list right now is over 1,000, you can do the math. In other words, the new way of doing business is building relationships that last long-term. You don't want them to call another plumber for another plumbing problem. You want them to call you. The only way they're going to call you is if they know who you are, is if you maintain contact with them. And in some cases, if you incentivize them. Okay. Now we can talk more in detail about that, but I just want you guys to have that inside of your head. Okay. I want you to know this. Okay. Of the 1,000 or so contractors that were surveyed, guess what? 60% of them said that labor and overhead were their biggest threat. 60% labor and overhead, which means what? Which means there's too many contractors still today, which may or may not include you, that still don't know their numbers. They don't know their numbers. Okay. Now, Contractor Plus has some tools that you should probably be using. They're going to help you with your markup and margin, ultimately job costing, and then making sure that you have money left over after the job ends. 60%. And I'm going to tell you, it's not going to go down. Pricing is not going to go down. Your labor rates are not going to go down. Your insurance rates aren't going to go down. The price of materials aren't going to go down. So you have to learn to price for profit. Okay? Pricing for profit. Now, most contractors, here's the crazy thing. Most contractors operate in the 21 to 40% range. 21 to 40%. My challenge to you, first of all, if you don't know what your gross profit margin is, shame on you. Second of all, you should be well over 50%. But you're like, but I'm going to miss out on that job. Great. It wasn't a job you wanted anyway. Why? Because you're not going to make the money that's worth the job in the first place. Dollars in does not equal dollars kept. More often than not, dollars in equals dollars out, which is why at the end of every month, you're looking at your bank account going, I had the busiest month ever, and I have no money to show for it. Again, numbers lie. Men lie, women lie, numbers don't lie. Excuse me. Okay. Now, here's one that you're really going to like. On average, It takes a contractor an hour to get back to a lead, meaning that someone calls you and you may be on a job, you may be doing an estimate, you may be busy doing office work. Okay? You might, or you might not. Either way, 52% of contractors take on average an hour to respond to a lead. An hour. What do you think would happen if someone, I'm not going to say it's you, right? But it might be you. Someone on your team just picked up the phone every single time. What would happen? What would happen to the number of leads that you have? What would happen to the number of jobs that you could potentially close? What would happen instead of waiting an hour? I can tell you this from experience. We got our garage door fixed. Why? Because every time I pushed that stupid button, all I would hear was beep, 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 as it was like rolling up and rolling down and rolling up and rolling down. And I go to the gym at 5 o'clock in the morning, 4:45, that thing goes up. My wife hates it. Why? Because it wakes her up. It's not the bird outside, right? It's not me making a bunch of noise downstairs. It's the garage door. So finally I got to the point where she's like, fix it. I was like, great. Google, find top 3, start calling. Number 1, no answer. Number 2, answer. Who do you think I went with? Number 2. Why? Because number 1 didn't answer. At that point, I had a problem. I needed a solution. I was looking for someone to pick up the phone, come to my house, solve the problem. What about you? Are you that prompt? Are you that on top of things? When people message me on social media, I have a team, okay? But when people message me on social media, I have somebody who messages them right back, like immediately. Why? Because at that point, they want to have a conversation and I want to be there for that conversation. Higher likelihood of me closing the deal. Okay. Now, what about AI? I know it's going to seem random. I know it, but understand this. You and I both know when you're scrolling through social media, as you're sitting on the toilet or you're laying in your bed at night, you are seeing AI and AI this and AI that. I'm going to tell you the truth about AI. AI is a tool that can and should be deployed properly. Okay. Now, for most of you, you are not going to go build your own app, nor should you. You should leverage platforms that are already using AI to help you in your business, like Contractor Plus, right? You should be using the platforms that already have access to these AI tools for you, right? If you didn't have to pull in real-time labor rates or real-time material rates, you could just use an app. Why wouldn't you? If you could have an app that would answer the phone for you, why wouldn't you? If you could have an app that would automatically respond to your prospects, why wouldn't you? Right? So find the platforms that allow for this to happen. Contractor Plus, again, you're going to hear me keep plugging it. We're here with them, but find the platform and start using it. If you don't know how to use it, guess what? There's people out there that can help you. But don't be afraid of it and really don't try and do it yourself. Okay? The second thing, the contractors that constantly look at their numbers. And by the way, this is from a third party. This is not from me. Thousands of contractors were asked. The contractors who follow up on what worked and what didn't work on a weekly basis see an increase on average of 52% year over year, an increase in revenue, 52%. 52%. Okay. Which means what? You need to be organized with the information that you have. You need to be doing something with that organized information, right? The data will tell you what to do. If you want to increase your business, by the way, this is just a curiosity question. How many of you would actually like to increase your business by 50% this year? Any of you? Like I would. Well, we've already done it, but that's a different conversation. If you would like to increase your business by 50% this year, okay, what do you need to do? Number one, most important, I said at the beginning, I'll say it again, data, data, data. You have to start looking at what the numbers are telling you, okay? And if you're not, you're missing out on opportunity, right? Now, here's another one. This is from clients. 73% of clients like clear upfront pricing. In fact, 73%, that same 73%, say that they choose a contractor because of clear upfront pricing. Oh, I don't know. Maybe you should leverage an app that helps you do that. Contractor Plus. Man, I'm just going to have to start having the Contractor Plus logo pop up on the screen every time I say that. So here's the thing, okay? I'm a customer just like you, right? I like clarity. I'm not an idiot. I don't want you to sit here and sell me like, what would your life be like if you didn't have this thing? I'm like, I need the thing. Just let me know what my options are, right? And if you had a good, better, best, imagine what that would be like. Perfect example. My wife and I the other day, we started doing a daily walk, which I absolutely love. We're walking in the neighborhood. It's about 3:00 in the afternoon. I decided to play hooky. Don't tell anybody. So it's about 3:00 in the afternoon. We're just cruising through the neighborhood on our walk, right? And I see my neighbor. He's probably 5 doors down from me, but I see my neighbor. One of those trucks pulls up with those garbage can cleaners, like hooked on the back of the truck. And I was like, I love this thing. So I'm sitting there watching the guy clean out the whatever they're called, trash cans. There we go. And in 5 minutes, he's done. 5 minutes. I was like, holy crap. He even sprayed him to make him smell good, right? And I walked up to him. I'm like, hey, bro, my trash cans reek. How much? And he goes, we have 3 options: monthly, quarterly, and then whenever you want to call us. Price. And I was like, cool, I'll take that one. He was done, went over to my house, 5 minutes done. I paid him like $35. I was like, best $35 I ever spent, right? Clear pricing. So if you want to land more jobs, be clear about your pricing. Now you're probably asking, well, how do I be clear about my pricing? Well, like I mentioned before, you should probably use an app or a program that helps you with clear pricing. One of the things I love about Contractor Plus is the ability to have multiple options on your pricing as well. You can clearly show that to the customer and let the customer make the decision. They're smart. Okay. All right. Let's see. Next thing here. 31% of contractors are currently using good, better, best option. 31%. Now, that number I believe should be higher. Okay. But I will tell you that the majority of contractors that offer options are winning. Period. I see this across the board. In fact, we focus primarily in the commercial world. Even in the commercial world, when possible, we offer good, better, best. We're currently doing a paint project in a basement. Yeah, I know it doesn't sound really sexy. It's not super sexy, except when you realize that it's an 18-story building and it's going to lead to more renovations on more floors. So it's paint on the floor, right? So we went through and we said, here's the 3 options that are available for you. This type of paint, this type of paint, this type of paint. Pick one. Guess what? They picked the middle tier, which they normally do anyway, right? Which for us was an extra $5,000 just for offering options. Okay. So if you're not offering options right now, you should be. Now, we don't have time to be like, hey, this is how you should offer options. Okay. If you're not using Contractor Plus, you should probably use it. And you can find out how to implement options in your estimates or your bids and everything that you do. All right. I'm going to go through a couple of quick questions here. A couple quick stats. And then we're going to wrap this up. Okay. 40% of contractors expect EBITDA to be 16 to 20%. Okay. Expect EBITDA to be 16 to 20%. Now you're probably wondering, what is EBITDA? EBITDA stands for earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization. It is your net profit. 16 to 20%. Now, the first question I have for you is, what is your net profit? Do you know? If you don't, that's a problem. You should probably figure that out. Okay. Second of all, if you're in the 16 to 20% range, you're doing really well. I'll tell you right now. Okay. I've dealt with contractors that are in the 2 to 5% range. No bueno. You don't want to be there. Okay. 16 to 20% range. So how do we get there? You guessed it. It's knowing the numbers. Okay. Now, it's not what's left over that matters. It's how are you bidding in a way that you have that money left over. Does that make sense? So it starts with your bidding process. And then all the steps in between, clarity around your processes, clarity around your change orders, clarity around how you're running your jobs, whether you're paying overtime or not, all the stuff in between that's going to lead you to that net profit at the end. Okay. So as we wrap this up, a couple things. Number one, if you don't know your numbers, that's a problem. Okay. And frankly, I'll just say shame on you. Shame on you for not knowing your numbers. It's your business, unless you're running a charity, which I don't think any of you guys are. So you need to know your numbers. Okay. Second of all, find a platform that allows you to leverage the tools that are already out there and available for you, right? If you're not sure on what you should charge for a piece of 2x4 or a water heater or roof shingles, guess what? There's platforms available that will help you with that. If you're not sure what a labor rate should be, there's platforms available that can help you with that. Okay. Again, our personal recommendation is Contractor Plus. Why? We use it. We have our clients use it. And I can tell you that it helps with all of these. Okay. At the end of the day, you're not in business to make money. You're in business to keep money. And the only way that you're going to keep money is you have clarity around your numbers. If you have clarity around your numbers, you can make decisions based on the data to help you at the end of the day, make more money and keep more money. All right. You know what time it is. It's time for you to get after it. Go implement some of these things. 3, 2, 1. Off you go.